Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Mindful Legacy. I do apologize that, I'm a little under the weather at the moment. I'm starting to come through it, how it gets, when the weather starts to change. But today, I've been working on a little project, and I've been working on a little project since I've been back from the Philippines. I just see how things have gotten in my country just in a matter of a few months. Excuse me. Just a matter of a few months on how everything is, revealing itself, to be honest with you. How all of the systemic everything has just been starting to reveal itself. So I put together a little 4-part series on one of the biggest things that I've noticed since being back is how people are now really just being real open about it, and how people are just using religion as a weapon. It's going to be very frank with you guys. How it's out in the open, just people just acting really, really like out of their freaking fracking minds. Have the nerves to call themselves Christians when all they do is spew out or demonstrate hate. What kind of Christian are you? But anyway, I put together a little 4-part series that I think it may ruffle some feathers, and it may open up some people's eyes, which I hope it does, to get people to think about how to conduct yourselves when you come across situations like we've been coming across in this country. Especially those who think that when they come over here to America, that if they supposedly get on the side of the majority, that they will be looked at in a different light. Well, they're really getting their wake up calls now to really see that the majority is just using them as a tool to get things that that they wanted to get from them, to whatever it is that they wanted to accomplish, using it as a tool. But see, that's been going on for years, where foreigners that come over here and think that if they treat those who have been here since day one like the majority treats them, that they will be in the good graces of the majority. And that's just not true. That's just not true at all. And now that it's really being displayed out in the open, you can see it never was true. You're just a tool for them to use to get whatever it is that they want to get in life. But I put together this series out, and I'm hoping that it opens some people's eyes, and I'm hoping that it gets you to think, to really think about what Christianity really is and how it's been weaponized. Again, these are my opinions. By no means is any of this an absolute. I just want you to have an open mind to my opinions as far as what I see and what I believe and what I've experienced. So, with that being said, let's jump into the video here. Now, I wrote the script out and I use AI from a platform. I'm not going to say their names right now because I'm not being sponsored by them, so I'm not going to give them any props. But I use an AI voiceover because, again, I'm not feeling well. But I also believe too that they can say it a little bit more eloquently than I can. but by no means though am I going to shy away from the camera. No, not at all. It's just that at this point in time, I want to release something that I believe will definitely open the eyes of a lot of people. And I believe also too that it's going to ruffle some feathers. So without further ado, let's get into the video.
The Misuse of God, How Control Replaced Compassion in Christianity, a 4-part conscious series by Mindful Legacy Digital Index Media. Episode 1, The Spirit and the Shadow, Recognizing Spiritual Danger in Human Form, Opening. There are moments in our journey when we hear someone speak in the name of God, yet something inside us tightens. The words sound religious, but the spirit behind them feels wrong. That inner tension is not confusion. It's discernment. Main narrative. When someone uses faith to separate rather than to unite, to judge rather than to heal, we are witnessing spiritual danger in motion. These individuals often wear robes of righteousness, but carry the vibration of fear. They are not just misguided, they are harmful because they plant seeds of division in the fertile soil of belief. A spiritually dangerous person is one who uses religion to elevate self above others, speaks of love but practices exclusion, quotes scripture to justify their personal prejudice, wields authority not to guide but to control. We must remember, discernment is not judgment, it's protection. We do not condemn such people, but we must recognize the vibration they carry. True worship is not measured by how loudly we sing, but by how deeply we love. Reflective transition. If we step back into the origins of our shared faith, we find that Christianity was not born as a tool for power. It was born from an act of sacrifice, humility, and unity. Have we ever felt uneasy when someone preached love but spoke with hate? What did that moment teach us about discernment? Episode 2, The Message Before the Manipulation. What true Christianity meant to be opening. Before Christianity became an institution, it was a movement. Before it became a religion, it was a way of being. Main narrative. At its core, Christianity was a radical invitation to live in love and equality. The early message of Christ was not about hierarchy but humility. He walked among the poor, touched the untouchable, and forgave the unforgivable. There were no pews, no titles, no prophet, only people learning to embody compassion. True Christianity was meant to liberate us from the systems that divide. It said, love thy neighbor as thyself. Not love thy neighbor if they look like you, or love thy neighbor if they belong to your group. The message was simple but revolutionary. Equality under the eyes of God. And that is why throughout history those in power feared it, because love is the one force they could never fully control. Reflection. When we hear someone weaponize scripture, we can ask, does this teaching lift us up or tear others down? Does it open hearts or close them? Does it serve love or serve control? If the fruit of a message is division, then the seed was never divine. Audience reflection. What does following Christ mean to us beyond religion? As a principle, a way of life, a daily practice. Episode 3, The Cross and the Crown. How Christianity became a tool of control. Every truth that liberates can also be twisted into a lie that enslaves. And so it was with Christianity. Historical reflection. As empires rose, the message of the cross became entangled with the ambitions of kings. By the time Rome institutionalized Christianity, love had been replaced by law, and salvation became a currency of obedience. During colonization, missionaries arrived before the merchants. The Bible was often used as a passport for conquest. Enslaved Africans were told that suffering was their divine test, that obedience was godliness, while their oppressors prayed over their chains. The same faith that once freed souls was now used to control them. Verses were cherry-picked to justify slavery, subjugation, and supremacy. The message of unity became a doctrine of dominance. This distortion didn't begin with white people or end with one culture. It began with the hunger for control that exists in the human ego. Religion became a political weapon, and still is, when used without spiritual integrity. Historical reflection. We must face this truth not to live in blame, but to reclaim what was lost. If we know how it was stolen, we can learn how to restore it. When we think about how Christianity spread through force, can we also imagine how powerful it would have been if it had only spread through love? Episode 4, Restoring the Sacred. How we can avoid spiritual deception and reclaim truth. We cannot change the past, but we can change how the past moves through us. The goal is not to destroy religion, but to restore its spirit. We live in a time when everyone can claim spiritual authority, online, in pulpits, even in politics. That makes discernment our sacred duty. We avoid spiritually dangerous people by observing their fruits, not their titles. If a message leads us toward judgment, it is not of love. If it makes us feel fear rather than peace, it is not of truth. If it divides us by color, creed, or class, it is not of God. The safest path is not to reject religion, but to reclaim it through awareness. We can study scripture for ourselves, question teachings that create superiority, surround ourselves with communities of compassion, not control, practice the spirit of love daily beyond the walls of church. When we live truthfully, false prophets lose their power. Their energy cannot exist in the frequency of love. We are all temples, and the truth lives within us. Closing reflection. Let us not be defined by the misuse of Christianity, but by the rediscovery of its purpose. We are not here to serve fear. We are here to live as the embodiment of love, equality, and divine awareness. Final audience invitation. How do we personally define spiritual maturity in a world of manipulation? What would it look like if we rebuilt faith around unity, not hierarchy? This has been an original script by JBell C, Mindful Legacy 2025, all rights reserved.